30s and in their 50s and on up. Ask them how they was treated in high school by dark-skinned African Americans. So I'm gonna give you an example how I was treated by a dark-skinned African American when I was in school. There was this one dude named Kenny Miller. We went to middle school together and high school together, right? Now, out of all the other African Americans, I didn't have any problem with. I didn't have any problem with. They wasn't trying to play with me, pick with me, bully on me. But this guy was a complete contrast of who I am. He was very dark skinned and he was fat. And he was taller than me. So he used to say, oh, he used to call me, and I have to, the audience that may be listening, you may don't get offended, but this is the words he used to call me bitch boy. And he called me bitch boy because of my pretty features. And that his sister liked me. His sister commented on my hair, everything. Ooh, your hair look better than mine. That's what she said. So I'm pretty sure she probably said something about me and around him. I'm pretty sure. If she telling me this. So his sister, it wasn't his sister because she was a little lighter than him. You see where I'm going with this? She had no insecurities. I'm just keeping 100. She was a light brown skinned woman, young girl, girl, and she was able to compliment me. Now, this is the same family. This is the same family. They real brothers and sisters. But with him, I don't know why he would even focus on another boy's appearance. That tells you right there. And we had mutual friends. So it was no reason for him to feel like I was alienated from the crew because we had mutual friends. So it only leaves one thing. It was jealousy because I had the eyes, I had the hair, I had this complexion that made him, it's his own insecurities that he was projecting. It made him feel jealous of me because he was not comfortable with being who he was. I didn't make him feel that way. I never said nothing about his appearance because he's a boy. I didn't have a reason to. But he's focused on my appearance. Focused on my perm that I had in my hair. He would sing a song. I can't make this up. He would sing a song on the whole bus in front of everybody saying, just for me, just for me. Just for me was a perm kit that came out in the 90s. So he would sing this jingle from the commercial in front of me in my face, in front of everybody. But, you know, it was funny. No matter how much he tried to humiliate me, it wouldn't stick. Nobody was really feeling that. But so why would you feel such a need as a young boy with all these girls around when boys are usually girl crazy in high school, you are in middle school too. You feel a need to take your attention off of girls to focus on me. That's deeper than being a bully. And you're focusing on my appearance? Nah. And considering you're dark skinned and I'm light skinned, and considering the history and considering that African Americans have preference for light skin, putting all those components together, it was nothing but him jealous of me. His sister didn't have no problem with my perm. She said it looked better than hers. But yeah, he's picking at it. So probably put two and two together. His sister probably said something about my hair in front of him. He got even jealous of that. Even more jealous. Yeah. So see, that's my personal history with African Americans. I gave you a perfect example. You know, and they just look at you and they don't like you. That's racism. That's racism within the boundaries and perimeters of the African American culture and community. So basically, it's almost like you're white in the black America. It is. It's almost like it. It's like you're almost white among African Americans and you're not liked. You're not loved. Think about it. Who's more likely to not be embraced? Most African Americans are dark skinned, right? On the average, most of them are dark skinned, right? A darker skin complexion, right? So who you think is going to be more rejected? Some dark skinned people that are the average or light skinned people that are not the average? Because you look at the fact that that light skinned people are withdrawn, not realizing the culture. You don't realize the culture, white man. In any other race, you don't realize the culture. You don't know this because you didn't live it. I can give you stories and accounts of this. Yeah, and it's a bigger issue than you would like to accept. So by the time they light skinned people grow up, having come out of the African American community, they get white friends, they get other race friends because they're just so burnt out on the hate. So you look at that as racism. You look at that as he don't love his own people. No, his own people didn't love him. His own people or her own people did not love him or her. And that's more the case than not the case. It's more the case. It's more the case. When you have dark skin on the average in African American community, and you have light skin not the average in the African American community. So what you think that the not on the average is going to go through? Being watched and looked at as a certain way. Think about it. You're the one that look different. You're the one that look different. And you don't think they're going to have no problem with you. You just didn't realize. A lot of you white people don't realize. And a lot of you black people, you didn't ever realize this was the real reason. That was the reason right there. If you look like them, it would have probably been no problem. Unless you gave them a problem. But on face value, when you really haven't given them a problem, that's based on your appearance, which is racism. That's racism. If you can look at somebody and not like them or treat them differently, you are practicing racism. Dark-skinned people need to hear that. If you're mistreating African Americans that are light-skinned and you just can't stand it, okay? You know the type, the real beautiful light-skinned girls, I'm talking about beautiful. If you're if you're discriminating or hating on that, that ain't jealousy. It's racism first. Before jealousy, it's racism first. You looking at let's define racism again. Let's define racism again. Racism foundationally is looking at hating someone for their appearance. And because they and it definitely is racism because they have another race in them, and that's what you don't like. In other words, you don't like the white in them. Boom. And that is racism. You don't like the white in them. The white is what make them look like skin. Pretty much. And that's what you don't like. You don't like the white, the European race that's in them, which is racism. I could stop right there. You don't like the white in them. And that's racism. And that's racism that white people don't even know you have in your culture. Why you sitting up here crying about white people being racist? You sitting up racist to light-skinned people. Mm. It's so much hypocrisy, man. That's why no one has the right to be sitting up really playing with anybody. You don't have the right to be sitting up playing with me because I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you why I move the way I move because I definitely ain't dealing with that. I'm not dealing with it. If you think I'm weaker because of that, see, when you get up in age, it's now more, well, how strong are you as a light skinned man? How strong are you as a light skinned man? Oh, you're not working. Oh, you must be weak. That's yeah, he light skinned, he weak. He ain't even working. I'm working at something way above this little society called America. I'm working on something major. I'm working on something way beyond what you've been doing. So see, these are the real problems. People just don't like you because you're pretty. I had one black woman tell me, I don't date no man prettier than me. Just like that. I can't make this up. Yeah. And I was showing interest in her. So you can't say I was racist, can you? She was dark skinned, darker than me. And I didn't see that like that. I didn't see it from that way. You know what I'm saying? I seen just a beautiful woman, and me and her start talking or whatever, whatever. We exchanged numbers and everything like that, right? So then she just kind of breaks it down that she don't date guys that's prettier than her. In my opinion, I don't compare the beauty of a man with the beauty of a woman. That's just me. They're two different things. You can have a woman that's less attractive overall speaking than the man, right? But it's still a feminine creature, a female creature, which is more beautiful than a man to me. So I don't take that perspective. But yeah, I've had a black woman. I think her name was Sunny. I used to work at the hospital with her in Charlotte in Carolina Medical, and I liked her, man. I liked how she looked, and I liked her personality and everything. But she said I don't date guys prettier than me. And to be real, I think it has something to do also with me being light skinned. Hey, keep it real. Keep it 100, man. You know what I'm saying? So that may have been her. It may have been totally about that, and it may have been her way of saying, you know, kind of telling a lie and saying that's what it is. Saying, I don't think guys prettier than me, and really she just don't like light skinned guys. And here's the punchline: there's more light skinned jokes with comedians. Boom. There's all them light skinned jokes. This is culturally speaking. White people, you know this. Yeah, if you watch black comedy, you've heard light skinned jokes. Heard any dark skinned jokes though? Did you hear any dark skinned jokes? You didn't, did you? So what you have culturally is people joking on light skinned people. Yeah, it's cool to you because you're not light skinned. It's cool to you. But if we were talking about dark skin over and over again, I'm gonna tell you what would happen. If it was comedians doing that, I'm gonna tell you what would happen. People begin to say, "See, that comedian don't even like how we look. He hate no. He down in the appearance of his own people." If we would say to have dark skin jokes, that's what they would say. Oh, yeah, he don't like our dark skin. He's downing natural African look, right? Right. That's what would be said. But you're cool with laughing about light skinned people all the time. You're cool with that though. That's no problem. You laughing your butt off. But let them tell a dark skin joke. People feeling some type of way. That's what I'm saying. But you ain't feeling no type of way about light skin jokes. So see, white people, you need to understand. when you see it in comedy, that it's rooted deeper than you know. So you just need to stay out of the wars that's going on and let God handle it. Because that's what he gonna do. He gonna handle it. Because people sitting up here lying and playing games, and they stink with games, and they stink with jealousy. That's what it is. Envy, man. I had an Italian man when I first came to Brooklyn, an Italian guy, me and him having drinks. And I wasn't talking about nothing at all. This is not something I'm even thinking about, right? So he looks at me and he just says, "You know what, Marcello? With you, it's envy, man." He said, "It's envy." He said, "How you look. Some guys are too tall, some guys are too short, some guys got this going on, that going on." He said, "But with you, you know what I'm saying? Basically looking at my appearance." He said, "It's envy, man. They envious." And I feel, well, I ain't even got nothing though. But I got a look. I've always had a look. I'm thinking I ain't even got a lot of stuff. Ain't what's to be jealous of. Like from a guy's perspective, I know I'm attractive. I don't. It's not that I'm blind to that. It's just to me, you would think that people would be jealous of people with possessions, things that money and things like that, right? Even though I'm not. I'm not saying that's a reason to be jealous, but you would think that that would be the reason, right? But that's what an Italian guy, not black, not considered European, he said that. And I'm like, wow. Thinking about it now, he must have seen something or heard something that somebody said about me. For him to say that, for him to say envy, I'm envied, I'm showing you, I'm giving you examples. For him to have said that means someone around me was saying something and hating. Why is he just going to come out and say that as a guy too? Because somebody was hating. Another example, I had a Jamaican friend, and the first guy, the first person I was going to get the only guy really, I was going to get a room, an apartment with. Me and him was supposed to get an apartment together, right? Let's show you. That's another way you see I'm not racist. That's another way you see it. So the Jamaican friend, I tell him a story about we're in a program together, working in this program in New York called Ready, Willing, and Able. So we're out in the town on our own, and I'm talking to him and telling him about this situation with some guy at the place where we're living at. He said, "Man, they just jealous of your appearance." Now he instantly said that. Instantly. He instantly said they were jealous of my appearance. He said, "Oh, they just jealous of how you look." So an Italian man has made that assumption, and a Jamaican man has made that assumption that people are just by my appearance, and it's just not beauty. It's light skin. It's the light skin thing too. I'm not the most fair skinned African American, but I'm still considered with my eyes to be lighter. And this has been the problem. This has been the problem, man. You know, this has been the problem. So just understand that, man. All you people that sit back and you don't understand, listen, man. Listen, it's way deeper in this community than you want to believe. And it's jealousy. A lot of this stuff is motivated by jealousy, and it has its root. It may not be okay. Let's say if a war is going on, right, between African Americans, it may not necessarily be the African Americans. That may not be their motivation why they're fighting. But if you go back to the origins of the war, it's probably some jealous people. So they're basically um, fighting a war that started by jealousy based on appearance. More time, I'm telling you, and that's the origin of the war, which really, to me, keeps makes it the nature of the war. It's still a light skinned, dark skinned situation because that's the origin of why all the stuff started: envy and jealousy. So although it may not be you, the origin of the war is still light skinned and dark skinned. You're just continuing a war that was based on that. And you can't change the origin of the war. You don't have the luxury of doing that. If it was based on envy, you can't change the origin of the beginning of what this is all about.